What's going on, everybody? Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. This might be the last day one of the tampering period video that we make, because I'm pissed off at this point. As the Philadelphia Eagles have swung and a miss at the two big cornerback prospects. We have James Bradberry is going to the New York Giants. I think it's a 3-year, $45 million deal. I'm not going to lie, if that was the price point, I think I might, that might have been it. 3-year, 45 for a guy that's about that player style. It's an upgrade for anyone that we would have had on the Eagles, to be completely honest with you. He fits the Eagles scheme as well. A little bit slower. Zone guy, can tackle. We missed out on him. I wasn't really expecting him at any point. I thought he'd actually be a little bit more expensive. I think the Giants got a solid bargain deal, considering, they had a real rough time last year with DeAndre Baker. Had a real big learning curve outside, and Janoris Jenkins obviously got kicked to the curb. Where did he end up? It's New Orleans or something like that. So they are completely reshuffling that secondary. And I think James Bradberry, it's a good starting point. They didn't overpay. And then, out of nowhere, Byron Jones has agreed to sign for the Miami Dolphins, making him the highest paid corner. Rumors have it right now as $17 million per year. It's a lot of money. Byron Jones was always a tough one, because when you look at the draft this year, there's probably no one in the Eagles' range that, Eagles needed a complete overhaul. People always, you analyze the wide receiver spot. And yes, we need wide receiver help, but we almost equally need cornerback help. And when you look at the draft, Christian Fulton's most likely going to be gone. That Niners trade where they sent DeForest Buckner for pick 13, that could very well facilitate a Christian Fulton selection there. Obviously, Jeff Okudah's going to be gone. This is the next batch of guys at pick 21. Philly's probably going to have to go corner in the first round. Jeff Gladney, CJ Henderson. That's probably it for that pick 21 corners that are going to be in that discussion. I mean, you could... Let's go look here. Let's look at the rankings. You got AJ Terrell. Not really first round guy. Even though he's a great athlete at Clemson, maybe that's more second round territory. Trayvon Diggs from Alabama, maybe first round, maybe at that pick 21. There's that Noah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, at Auburn. I'm not impressed with him whatsoever. I know he's getting a lot of hype. Like on the draft number right now, he's a 5th ranked corner. I don't see that at all on tape. Damon Arnett from Ohio State, I think, is a little overrated. Jalen Johnson in the second round, wouldn't hate that. Bryce Hall, second round, third round, somewhere in that range. He's banged up with injuries, so Philly's definitely going to want to draft him. That could help. Troy Pride, Cameron Dancer, Darnay Holmes. Then you're starting to get, now you're getting into those third round type guys that aren't really going to be expected to make a big impact. So who is going to be the big impact playmakers in the Philadelphia Eagles secondary? Well, the two big ones that could be had are already off the market. Bradberry for an affordable price. And then when you look at Byron Jones, obviously he doesn't get interceptions. There's a lot of... I'm not going to say it would have been the same. I'm not going to say it would have been the same, but there are a lot of similarities, we'll say, between his production and what he did for the Dallas Cowboys, and say if Philly spent a lot of money with Nnamdi Asomugha. Like that probably, if Philly made the same move that the Miami Dolphins did, I'd be here talking to you like, is this going to be another Nnamdi Asomugha? Because he's a guy doesn't get a lot of interceptions. He's in a scheme. He's versatile. I mean, I wanted Philly to draft him in 2015. I wanted him and Eric Rowe. Byron Jones first round, Eric Rowe second round. I think he's a nice prospect. He's a complete DB. He could eventually play a little bit of safety, maybe transition to that Malcolm Jenkins role after he's been here for a little bit. But, it's one of those things where if I'm paying, he's not a true shutdown corner. I think he's close. He's almost in that discussion when you're talking about Byron Jones, but I don't think he's just right below whatever the tier is below shutdown corner. So we'll call it, A tier. If S tier is the pure lockdown guys, Byron Jones is somewhere in that mix in that next tier. And if I'm making you the highest paid corner, if you were at least, not that lockdown guy, you better be getting turnovers. And he doesn't get turnovers. And, it's tough. That's a tough assessment. I think Philly, for talking about corners for Philadelphia, it's kind of a lose-lose. Because there's no one really Philly's probably going to be able to get in the draft that's going to be able to step in and make the impact Byron Jones had. But then if you don't get Byron Jones in free agency, and you don't get the next tier below that, which is James Bradberry, where are you really at? When you look at the available free agents, that's what I was just kind of typing up here. Xavier Rhodes, wash. Desmond Trufant, kind of wash. You get Chris Harris, but he's 31. Not a long-term spot. Logan Ryan, maybe, but he's 29, almost 30. I probably, those are going to be the next two. Chris Harris and Logan Ryan would be the next two, I think, for Philly. But, like, there's no one there. I mean, you look at Byron Jones, he's entering the prime of his career, 27. James Bradberry, entering the prime of his career, 27. These are guys that you're going to be able to get 3-4 years out of. Like, very similar to when Philadelphia signed Asante Samuel from the New England Patriots, and we got excellent production. He was literally our last good corner. So when you're looking at the available market right now for the Philadelphia Eagles, it's looking more and more like we're going to end up most likely with a Jalen Mills and not, obviously, a big-name type guy, because we need outside players. Philly has more than enough slot players. Avonte Maddox might be moving to safety, but he's a slot guy. Crayvon LeBlanc, slot guy. Our best corners, we have really solid slot corners. It's guys on the outside. Because you look at the guys that are available, like Mike Hilton for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's nice, but he's a slot. He's a pure slot. Kendall Fuller, big name for the Kansas City Chiefs, had a little bit of down year. Also, he's a slot corner. I think why he had some reason with the Chiefs and ended up moving to safety is because they tried to play him outside. They paid him, and they brought him, and they acquired him as like an outside lockdown corner in that Alex Smith trade. And he's a nickel. He is a nickel, and he's going to go somewhere and be a nickel. Mckenzie Alexander, Minnesota Vikings, nickel corner. Bashad Breeland, maybe something there. I mean, he looked pretty good for the Kansas City Chiefs. That could be a P.J. Williams. Not P.J. Williams. What's his name? The dude we signed, I can't remember his name. He was with us. He went to the Saints. See, it's too late. I've been doing too much football. But they got an Eagles Super Bowl. Had the pick against the Vikings. And he went to the Saints. I don't know why. I can't remember his name right now. Patrick Robinson. P-Rob. That's what it was. Bashad Breeland could be something similar to that. Brian Poole. Really nice player for the Jets. I loved him. I was shocked when he went undrafted. But he's slot corner. Slot corner safety thing. Trey Waynes. Outside corner. Has never really lived up to that first-round billing for the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think I would gamble on giving him probably decent money to see if he can, take that next step. It's a little too risky at this point. So for a team in Philadelphia that absolutely cannot take a gamble at that corner spot, we have to hit. So most likely, if we have to hit, we're going to probably get a veteran, and it's not going to be a guy that you can really build around the defense. So, I mean, it's just disappointing. I mean, we did bring in the guy Marquand Manuel, who was the Falcons DB coach. Desmond Trufant just got released. I mean, there could be a link there, but again, he looked pretty washed, to be honest with you. So we're here sitting, watching Byron Jones, watching James Bradberry, especially James Bradberry going within the division, and only $32 million guaranteed. Given how weak the cornerback market is, that's actually, we like to rip on Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman still is absolutely bottom 3 GM in the league. That's a good contract for the New York Giants. And then obviously Byron Jones, is he the best corner in the NFL? No. Is he a top 5 corner in the NFL? No. But he's getting paid like the best corner in the NFL. He's a top 10 corner. That's just what happens when you hit the market, and the cornerback is, the depth at cornerback is this sparse. But I don't know, man. We're sitting here in Philadelphia. As we sit here, we're, what's best case scenario? Probably Chris Harris on like a 2-year deal. Maybe Chris Harris, Logan Ryan. You double up on some veterans, and then hope for the first time since I've been a goddamn fan that we can draft corners. I don't know, man. It's not a great start. I'm really hoping, I don't want Philly to make a move for the sake of making a move, but something to be excited about. I don't know, man, because there's the cornerback area. I'm gonna be happy with a Chris Harris, with a Logan Ryan. Both those guys are definitely better than what we had. They're upgrades, but they're not like a guy that is gonna be here for 4 or 5. They're not a guy we can build this secondary around. They're band-aids. They're short-term options. So if we're looking at why, they got to make Ngakoue a trade maybe if they really want an edge, which would be disappointing because we already have a first-round asset sunk into Derek Barnett, and obviously Brandon Graham is paid like a top-tier elite end. So trading for Ngakoue, while that would be great for the defense, would kind of suck. And then you look at wide receiver, I absolutely want no part of Amari Cooper. If they get Robbie Anderson's probably gonna cost way too much money for a guy that's never gone over 1,000 yards. I'd be okay with a Brashad Perriman, but I'm always on the whole thing with the wide receivers in this draft are so stacked. I don't really want to have to make a big splash at wide receiver. Now, if it comes to a territory of seeing what DeAndre Hopkins went for, and if we could do something similar to get Stephon Diggs out of Minnesota, that's probably best case scenario right now as an Eagle fan, is if we get a very reasonable deal to bring Stephon Diggs. Other than that, it's a bummer. And I said real early today, once the DeAndre Hopkins move happened and some of these other ones, I think it's going to be like a low-key offseason for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not expecting anything. I expect the unexpected for the Philadelphia every year, and I think the expected was Philly to make a big move, and I expect the unexpected. I think they're going to be particularly quiet, which is frustrating, especially seeing what DeAndre Hopkins went for. So I kind of think at this point, from an excitement, from a hype standpoint, it's probably Stephon Diggs or bust right now, especially whiffing on the two corners. And then probably, hope to God, somehow, some way, like Christian Fulton's still there, pick 21. Because, I like Jeff Gladney. Even though I'm not a huge fan of C.J. Henderson, the way he conducted himself last year, it's a Gator, and I think he has the best, as good, if not better, of a chance to succeed in the NFL, more so than some of the other last first-round Gators that haven't succeeded. But at pick 21, I feel it's still a little rich, and that'd be Philly reaching for a corner at 21. I don't think in terms of true talent, there's going to be a corner that's worth the 21st pick that isn't a Fulton. So, I don't know, man. What do you guys feel about this? I feel like at the end of the day, the Bradberry one might frustrate me a little bit more, seeing how reasonable of a contract that was and how I think he would very easily integrate to this defense. Paying Byron Jones top money, the best, highest paid corner. I mean, Philly's not, we don't have the salary cap Miami has, right? We don't have that luxury to splurge like that. So, I don't know, man. What do you guys feel? Eagle fans in particular, what are you guys feeling? I mean, hopefully something happens between now and when I'm getting ready to go to bed. I can pop another video and be pumped about it. But right now, obviously, it's a little bit somber for the Eagles, a little bit disappointing. So where are you guys at? Let me know in the comment section below. We'll be back with all the other big news coming forward. Thank you for watching. As always, first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, C4, saying peace